Get ready for the dictation. 5 seconds. Start. Therefore, it has to be ensured that they get some practical training. Now we have been experiencing certain difficulties in this direction also. We have found difficulty in placing the young men who come out of our institutions in various plants and industrial establishments in order that they may acquire skill by practical training. We have found much greater difficulty regarding the full course of apprenticeship. In the case of those who do not go through the institutional training first, sir, I may explain that there are two aspects of this legislation for the training of apprentices. One is the objective of regulation and enforcement of certain standards, so that if a person receives training in one place, he can go to any part of the country for that type of work, because there will be the guarantee that he had received training of the requisite standard. That will ensure mobility of trained personnel throughout the country, and also ensure that proper standards are being observed in training. The other aspect is that we have to make sure that we are able to provide the industries with a sufficient number of technical personnel of this type. Therefore, the main objective which is sought to be implemented through this legislation is that we lay down the standards or provide for the standards that have to be observed in the course of this training program, and also that the industry has to make arrangements to provide facilities for a certain proportion of its employees being admitted as trainees for apprenticeship. I will now refer to the various clauses of the people. Just to explain very briefly the scheme of this proposed legislation, Chapter 2 refers in the first instance to the qualifications for being engaged as an apprentice. The age should not be less than 14 years, and certain standards of education and physical fitness as may be prescribed have to be satisfied. Then the procedure is laid down as to how an apprentice enters into a contract of apprenticeship, so that a number of conditions affecting the relationship of the apprentices with the industrial establishment with the employer are properly laid down. Apart from these conditions, it deals with the various other matters which are referred to in subsequent clauses. Sir, the period of training is also to be prescribed in the case of those who have passed the trade tests conducted by the council. The period of apprenticeship shall be determined by the council and in the case of other apprentices, these will have to be prescribed. There is a provision which lays down how this contract could not be brought to a close. Stop.